In a world full of movies, a group of cinema junkies have decided to start calling Hollywood on all their bull and recognize the films they're passionate about.
All right, you feminine screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. 12-gauge double-barrel grenade. S-Mark top of the line.
Groovy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Primitive Screwheads video podcast. That's right, I am one of your hosts, Rob Potsy, Potchak. Joining me tonight is Tony Perrone. Tony, go ahead and tell everybody what you've been up to since
Tony Perrone.
Forever.
Yeah, man, I've just been working. Moved back from Boston late last year, and just been living up in Raleigh. Probably one of the best cities I've ever lived in. Could not wait to get back.
Well, I can tell you, as one of your friends, I am glad that you are back, sir. Obviously, we're doing this remote tonight, but as you can see, folks, if you pop in, you can leave chats in the comments, as I like to say on any of my broadcasts. Don't be shy. Say hi. Drop a line. Tonight, the Primitive Screwheads return. As you heard, both Saren Tardell and Ashley J. Williams. By the way, didn't realize this until I watched Ash versus Evil Dead. His middle name is Joanna.
Oh, no. Kind of like Robinette sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes, that's a hand in our way.
Yeah. I had no idea he had a real name. They didn't say King Shark the whole movie. I was kind of surprised by that.
He gets called King Shark right at the beginning by Amanda Waller.
Really?
And
I missed that.
And then immediately after she calls him King Shark, she calls him by his real name, and everybody else does for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I had no idea that he was a South Pacific or Asian Pacific god. I didn't know that. I mean, obviously he's some form of mutated man, but I didn't know that. Is he ancient? Like I don't really know the history of King Shark that much.
My most recognizable moments with King Shark are from the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he is definitely not the same character he was here.
Wasn't he on The Flash as well? I've seen him being on The Flash.
Yeah, he was, and I don't remember him ever really speaking, but I do remember them using like telepathy to talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, did he ever? I just remember like one or two episodes. I think he was on The Flash, and then I don't really know if he was ever on there anymore after that. I stopped watching it a long time ago.
It's the same show every week. So
yeah.
Fortunately for you, unfortunately for me, you don't have to watch it. I did watch it. And it's funny too because like the one show that I think DC on CW needs to keep on there, besides the new Superman and Lois, that show's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like easily I feel like the best depiction of Superman in either film or TV since Christopher Reeve playing the first two movies.
I mean, what about Dean Cain though? I mean, come on, dude. I mean, it's funny. I started as soon as Suicide Squad was over. I was flipping through all the different, you might like to watch kind of thing at HBO Max, and I saw that the new adventures of Lois and Clark were on there. And you know what I did? I started watching the first episode, and I was like, "This was 1993. Oh my god!" Like,
yeah, I remember that the comic book series had to, and for anybody who does pop into the audience, I'll go ahead and say we're going to bounce around because this is the first time that Tony and I have actually talked in about a year or two.
Yeah.
Besides a one-off text message here and there, but I remember that the comic books had to catch up because the TV show was going to marry Lois and Clark. So the comic books had to put out a comic series issue of them getting married just so they could be ahead of the game, which I always thought was pretty funny.
Wow, I didn't know that. God, it seems like that show was on forever when I was a kid. But I mean, it was only 4 seasons. It only lasted 4 seasons, which I mean, in today's standards, I mean, that's like kind of middling. You know what I mean? But
it is. But like comparatively, though, if you look at what streaming shows do, streaming shows like Bad Batch on Disney Plus is 16 episodes, but everything else is like 8 to 10. So back when Lois and Clark was a series, they went 22 episodes a season, so they got 88 episodes.
Right, maybe that's probably why it felt like so long.
So by today's
lasted so long to be a kid,
8 seasons.
That makes sense. Yep.
And it's funny too because you still have network television that still does the 22 to 24 episode season, like CW with Flash and Arrow and all those.
What is network television?
What's that?
I said, what is network television? I don't know this. I don't know these things. Anytime I do watch any kind of network television show now, it gets canceled. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It gets canceled. And I can't. It's like I watched that show Debris. Did you watch that?
No.
It was a great show. It was a neat concept. Canceled. What? It happens to me all the time, man. It's like I can't. I have to like let it sit and not watch it, and then maybe it'll get picked up.
I wonder if that's what's happening with me recently because like between October and now, I just watched Justified for the first time. And
I've only ever watched like the first season of that show.
Dude, that like to me now, like I look at Timothy Olyphant in that series, and I'm like, that's what a cop needs to be. Like,
right.
And now guys like Walton Goggins are all over the place.
Right.
Like he's got his own network TV series. He's got the Unicorn, but
it got canceled.
But it got canceled.
Got canceled. And it was based in Raleigh, which is kind of cool.
I saw that, which maybe that's why it got canceled. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't filmed in Raleigh, but it was based in Raleigh. Yeah.
Yeah, I always heard that they talked about certain areas and certain like landmarks and stuff in the show.
Right.
So, but like it's funny to me because like now you've got all these streaming services and like they'll pick up a show from time to time from network TV or whatever, like Lucifer. And Lucifer was going to end after season 3 or whatever and got moved over to Netflix, so it got 3 more seasons out of it. But it's still
like The Expanse.
Season 6.
Yeah, it's like The Expanse.
Yeah, and The Expanse is probably one of the only reasons why I like Jeff Bezos is because
dude, I said the same thing. I was like, how cool is it to be a billionaire and just be like, I like that show. Let's keep it going. Like, I really love that show, so I want to pick it up. Like, that's awesome. I would have done that to so many TV shows if I was a billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it'd be like, ooh, which one? Now here's
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. That show was so off the wall when it was.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? They should have just turned that into Prison Break. That's what they should have done.
Oh, you mean just like it was like a shared universe or something like that?
Yeah,
but there was like the whole thing with like the enigmatic warden and whatnot. I don't know, man. And they left it like on a crazy cliffhanger.
Well, yeah, because it got canceled. So.
Yeah, I hate that though. But it's like, why don't they know? They don't know that they're getting canceled. Like, I wish they could, at least end it.
So there are some series that absolutely have that knowledge that they're canceled ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like there was one that had Andre Brower on it where he was like the submarine captain and I don't remember what the name of it was, but like they knew about 3 episodes into the final season of it, and I think it was season 3, that they were getting canceled. So they were like, okay, we can tie everything up now.
Right.
Arrow, for example. Arrow, like Stephen Amell said, okay, I'll do 10 more episodes, but I'm not doing a full season again. And they were able to tie that all up.
Sure, yeah. I mean, but that's what I mean. Like if it's like 1 season and done and they leave it, I hate that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. At least make it one full story. Like the
yeah.
unfortunate thing is they always seem to throw like a cliffhanger on it, and you're left wondering what the fuck ever happened with that cliffhanger.
Same thing with Debris. They did the same thing. There was like a whole bunch of loose threads, and
And sometimes you don't have sometimes you get told, hey, we're canceling you because you think you might have a chance of getting renewed, and then they just don't renew you.
Right. Yeah.
Or you have like Heroes where they sit there and they go, oh, we'll just bring you back for one more season that will, supposedly tie everything up, and then it just convolutes everything even worse.
Yeah, I tried to watch that show. I could never really get into it.
I never watched the original series, and then all of a sudden when the return came, I was like, ooh, I need to watch this. And
right.
And the whole time I was like, why am I watching this? I don't know what any of this is.
So I just found out that Ratcatcher 2's rat, Sebastian, that was his name, right? Was real. That's a real rat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't CGI.
They were in the credits. There was 3 of them.
I was like, that's amazing. Like, that's like the smartest rat. I mean, I don't mind rats at all. I think they're, kind of cool. But I did think it was funny that Bloodsport's big phobia was rats, I thought that was kind of funny. It's kind of like with Indiana Jones and snakes,
Yeah, no, exactly. He's this big, so for 2 movies in a row that I've seen Idris Elba, he's been Black Superman. What I mean by that is if you saw Hobbs and Shaw, he actually says, yo, I'm Black Superman, yo, like that, and in this, he's super badass.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes of the Suicide Squad, he was more badass than 4 movies that he was Heimdall.
Right. Well, I don't know, but I think that what was it? What was that? What was the other movie you just mentioned?
Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah. I saw most of that on a plane. So I didn't get to finish it. And it got even like more ridiculous than a Fast movie. You know what I mean? Like it was like I didn't even think that. I love those movies. You know what I mean? I still haven't seen Fast 9 yet. I actually just watched Fast 8 a couple of weeks ago for the first time, and it was fun.
So Fast 9 is fun, but it does the one thing that these series end up doing at some point that I can't stand, and it's the meta moments. Like there's too many meta moments where they're actually like trying to fourth wall break without breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, really? Really?
Like at one point, Charlize Theron's character literally, sorry folks, spoiler alert. She sits there and says, if this was a movie, this is where the bad guy would tell you every part of his plan. And it's like,
no,
this is a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And they do it more than once. There's a scene where Tyrese sits there and says something about like, man, can you believe how many times we've made it through all these crazy situations and not a single bullet hole? And it's like we as the watchers already know that. You don't need to say that.
I know, right? Yeah, you don't need to spell it out for me. I already know.
And it's not Austin Powers. You don't have to tell me that I'm going to teach you exactly what
I know. It's not supposed to be a parody. You know what I mean? It is a parody, but you're not supposed to know it's a parody.
And okay, there's movies like Jason X that are absolute parodies of everything else that those horror movies are supposed to be about.
Right.
We get it. We understand. We suspend our disbelief because we like Kane Hodder playing Jason Voorhees, and we want to see the Super Shredder version, right?
Right, the Super Shredder version. That's hilarious, dude.
but we understand and we know that movie is just going to be complete trash from the beginning.
Yeah.
When you watch a Fast and Furious movie, you don't expect Oscar-worthy performances. I get that, but you do expect the characters to remain in character, go on the line that they're supposed to. Dom's gonna sit there and say it's all about family. We're gonna get all those moments.
Drink Corona.
We're gonna leave and go, yeah, man, this is the 10th Point Break movie I've watched in all
right.
of them.
So, wait a minute. Do they go to space? Do they go to space in this one?
Do you really want me to ruin it for you?
I mean, yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
They go to space.
Oh, cool, man. That's awesome.
and not the way that you would think.
Oh, okay.
I'll leave it at that, and I won't
ruin
it for you.
Okay. So we were talking earlier before we went live. what was your favorite part of the movie? I remember my favorite part, like absolute favorite part. I mean, I had a lot of favorite parts, but the one that stood out to me was really awesome. What was yours?
So there's without spoiling anything. Okay.
Oh, we're not.
Well, no, I mean we can, and folks, it's been on HBO Max for 4 days now.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And honestly, you probably won't watch this episode of this show until after I post it on Facebook or whatever. So
right.
But, my favorite part of the movie easily is when Idris Elba's character Bloodsport and John Cena's character Peacemaker are absolutely swinging their dicks trying to show who can kill more people.
Yes, dude, that's my favorite part of the movie because they keep on one-upping each other. And he's like, no one likes to show off. And he's like, they do if what you're showing off is dope as fuck. And then
Idris Elba's just like, he's like, fuck.
Yeah, and then you find out that they were killing the freedom fighters. I was like, dude, I knew it though. I knew something was wrong. I was like, these guys don't look like, typical
like
Banana Republic soldiers. I was like, what?
Overlords?
Yeah, I was like, this is something is not right about this. And then, obviously the reveal when you find out that Flag was kicked back,
drinking tea with the with the leader of the freedom fighters.
Yeah.
So that was easily my favorite part of the whole movie. And by the way, that part of the movie made me realize that John Cena is a star in the making. Like he was 15 years as a pro wrestler, and everybody was like,
right.
He'll get some of those funny roles and whatever because he'll just seem quirky. But this was the first time that like I saw it, and I watched Fast 9, and even in Fast 9, he was like the most serious of all the characters in the film.
Right.
But here, like, he just had a presence about him where like he stole the sequences whenever he was in the scene.
Yeah.
And there was only one other character that really did that, and that was King Shark.
Yeah. Well, I feel like maybe King Shark was a little bit maybe a little bit goofier, I guess, than I wanted it to be. I mean, want him to be. I mean, it's still pretty cool and obviously an asset. But I guess I kind of been spoiled by Groot. You know what I mean?
I think he was Baby Groot.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he's not Baby Groot though, and also they never really said why is he in that prison. You know what I mean? I guess there's a lot of reasons. They didn't say why a lot of those people were in that prison, but I mean, I guess he ate people or something. I don't know. I mean,
well, you could definitely tell he ate people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he not only ate the people that weren't in his group, he tried to eat the people that were.
Yeah, I know. That was funny. It was cool how he was.
I loved how Ratcatcher 2 is like, oh, he'd never try to hurt me, and then the rat has to tell her like, no, he was gonna eat you.
Yeah.
He's like, you bastard.
I loved. It was kind of cool how Waller sort of got her comeuppance, a little bit as well. Because from the last movie, I mean, obviously she's deranged. And power hungry.
For that role in the government, you almost wonder if you have to be, especially when you're dealing with superpowered people.
Right? You kind of have to be a megalomaniac yourself.
I'm not trying to justify, people in government positions being crazy by any means.
Right. She killed her whole support staff.
but let's go back to the beginning of the film because I'll tell you, it's amazing to me at how many people were in the cast. Right. And I knew going into it that this was going to be James Gunn said, I want to use this character, this character, this character, this character. And he went down the line and DC Comics was like, go ahead. And he's like, but I want to kill 90% of them.
Yeah. See, I think they did a really good job of not, I mean, I knew a lot of them were going to die, but I mean, you didn't know
Suicide Squad movie where no Suicide Squad member died.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, you didn't know who, and you certainly didn't expect that, Task Force XA or whatever was going to get wiped out. I mean, I had no idea. I didn't know. I was like, oh shit. I was like,
yeah. So this is a big time spoiler
well.
here. This is a big spoiler, folks.
Yeah.
Characters from the first movie. Now, what it basically looked like though was James Gunn had his way with being able to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
And by wiping it clean, he blew it the fuck up.
Yeah. That was so funny, man. Like, I mean, I guess I guess I read some things about how Flula like got into like really great shape for the movie and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I guess, he'll probably be in it for a while. You know what I mean? I mean, good for him, but he had like
20
2 lines, you know what I mean? And he was dead. And also I thought the TDK was hilarious as well.
Every time you see Nathan Fillion in a James Gunn film,
yeah,
he's not going to be in it very long. He's
right.
He's like, yeah, James, I'll do it because it's you, but like you're paying me my rate, and I'm only doing like 3 scenes.
Okay, so I know he was in the first Guardian. Was he in the second Guardians of the Galaxy?
He was in both. Well, I don't think he technically made an appearance in the second Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was Simon Williams. So like, there's posters of Wonder Man, the movie.
Oh, okay.
And he's Wonder Man.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so he appears, but I don't think he was
Wonder Man. That's like from. Did you watch MODOK, the cartoon?
Yeah.
On Hulu. That's Wonder Man, right?
MODOK's not Wonder Man.
No. I mean, isn't Wonder Man in that in MODOK?
I don't remember. It's been a while since.
Dude, that show was hilarious, man.
Patton Oswalt was insanely good in that.
Yeah.
although I will admit there were parts where the show just got annoying as fuck to me. But
oh, really? See, I never really felt that way. Like, I think when I first started watching the first episode, I was like, oh, geez. And then, like, I mean, it just got really, really funny. And there was like a whole episode about Third Eye Blind. Yeah. And his robot was hilarious. His robot was funny as shit.
I think what my problem with it was that I didn't know going into it that the Robot Chicken guys were the guys that did the show.
Oh, you did you not know that it was claymation or stop motion or whatever? Claymation?
No, I didn't. And I think that's what kind of, but I enjoyed it. It's just I had to change my frame of mind to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
So but I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So with the Suicide Squad, you get Amanda Waller, you get Rick Flag, you get Harley Quinn, and you get Captain Boomerang are like the only characters that were in like the first film that are showing up here.
Yeah.
And during that, like, apparently Warner Brothers said you have to use Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and she's got to be in the movie, right?
Right.
And if I had to guess, out of every character that started out in the film, she was the only character that they said you're not allowed to kill off.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, why? I mean, it's Harley Quinn. You can't kill off Harley Quinn. Like,
well, and I think it's because when this movie technically takes place in the Snyderverse, right? So we know how the Snyderverse actually ends. Going to that murder world or whatever. So
I didn't watch Birds. Is that Birds of Prey? Is that from Birds of Prey? I didn't watch that.
No, not Birds of Prey. No, if you watch the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
Oh, yeah. No, I still haven't gotten down to the 4-hour. Is it 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever?
I think it's 4 hours and 26 minutes.
No, I haven't.
So by the way, and with that film, Wet Weggy's joining us in the chat. What's up, Weggy? But I will watch this after I watch. Yes. Don't. If you want to stick around, we're definitely going to spoil some things.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin that for you, but absolutely drop comments after the show, like the video, do all that cool stuff, like you're supposed to with YouTube stuff. But Harley Quinn is at least somewhere in the Zack Snyder world after that. I did find it interesting that I would assume that this film actually is still firmly planted in the Snyderverse version of the DCEU, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, their continuity is weird. I guess it could be sort of like another Earth, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I guess you're right. It could be. I mean,
yeah.
Rick Flag didn't have his mustache or beard in this one.
Right. Speaking of that, I guess maybe that was maybe my one gripe about the movie.
Wait, you go like this.
Yeah. Don't listen.
Watch after the
earmuffs.
credits.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
I mean, so he's gone. Like he's not in it. Like,
yeah, and I'll tell you that moment in the film shocked me.
Yeah, me too. I was like, really?
Especially when you watch the after the credits scene.
Yeah, I know, because I was like, oh, sweet, he's not dead, and then I was like, oh, wait, it's not who.
It's not him.
Because then he was like, no, he's a douche. He was a total douchebag, and I was like, wait, what? Because at first I thought it was him. Right. You know, at first I was like, wait, what?
You know what I was kind of hoping for? I was kind of hoping that the next bed to him was going to be.
Yeah.
Now they have to recover laying next to each other, you know.
It's weird. Yeah, that would be funny. I thought that was an odd choice because I mean, what you think they'll make another one? I mean,
so HBO Max already has filmed and is getting ready to drop an 8-episode Peacemaker TV show.
That is so crazy, man.
Yeah, and written and directed by James Gunn, by the way. So.
When is that coming out? You were telling me about that. When's that coming out?
I don't know, but it's like they have already filmed it. So principal footage is already done. So now they just have to edit it and, get it ready. It'll probably be middle of next year. But I mean, James Gunn knew he had something special there.
Yeah.
And like you and I were saying, when you watch the film, just watching how he comes across, like initially, every panel or every video I saw where they were discussing the character, John Cena sitting there saying he's a douchey Captain America.
Yeah, right.
And the ideals that he had of it doesn't matter how many men, women, or children he has to kill to obtain peace in the world.
Right.
is sick, disgusting, and
morbid. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
But it's so good.
Yeah.
And another part that I absolutely loved in the film is right after, like, someone goes, "Who the fuck is Bloodsport?" And she goes, he put Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet, but he's the type of man that can take any kind of weapon or anything off a table and turn it into a weapon. He's an expert in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And then she takes Bloodsport to meet Peacemaker, and he's like, "So what's he do?" And she goes, "Well, he can take anything that there is and make it into a weapon. He can do that." And he's like, "Are you fucking with me?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "You just told that other guy that exact same thing about me. So what the fuck do I need him for?" And then of course John Cena's got to be John Cena and be like, "Because I do it better."
Yeah. You know what was funny? I thought he was behind glass.
No, he was just ready to walk out of there.
Yeah, I didn't even know the door was open. Like, to me, I thought he was like behind like a cell door, and then he says that and just walks out. And I was like, what the hell?
so here's an interesting piece for you. The doctor that's actually talking, like taking in James Gunn's brother, Calendar Man, when he's like looking at the weasel, like licking the wall. The doctor is actually the creator of the Suicide Squad. That was John.
Oh, really? That's cool. I like when they do stuff
so
like that.
They gave him his little piece right there. And of course that was Sean Gunn. It's Sean, right? Sean Gunn.
Oh, his brother? I'm not sure. I don't know.
So normally the guy that does all the motion capture for the for the Groots and the Rockets and everybody else, but he was Calendar Man, and I loved when he's sitting there like making fun of Polka Dot Man. He's like, "Hey, can you do my kid's bar mitzvah this weekend?"
Yeah, right, yeah. That was funny, man. I thought it was a nice kind of a nice touch how you realized how crazy he was too when
he kept
picturing, he like cheerily said, "I picture them as my mom. I picture them as my dead mother," or whatever. And I was like, "Holy shit!" And then it showed every one of them looked like his mom.
So when you asked what my favorite points of the movie were, I knew that the John Cena and Elba moment was definitely number one.
Yeah.
But if I had to have a number two, it was in the strip club when he's dancing with all of his moms.
Oh, dude, I got to go back and watch that again, man, because I didn't see that. They look like his mom?
Yeah, so like they're all sitting there having a good time, drinking and everything at the strip club.
Yeah.
But they were waiting for the mine guy to show up.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there dancing crazy, and all the people around him are his mom.
Oh, I gotta watch it again, man. I missed that, dude. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, there's like 7 of the same woman just.
There was, there's a lot of little stuff, you know what I mean? Which is what I love about these movies too. Even just like John Cena's tiny little polo, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was hilarious. Like, why pick that?
When he's sleeping in the woods in nothing but tidy whities?
Yes, that was hilarious.
You know what I think that was supposed to signify was him being a Boy Scout.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Boy Scouts, always had to like go into the woods and everything, and like, to get their merit badges or whatever.
Right.
So of course, when you're like a 13-year-old kid, you're sitting.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
So
yeah,
so I think that's what that was. Of course, he's like tidy whities, and he's like, yo, that's racist.
Yeah. My wife Emily was like, "Is he on steroids?"
The correct answer would be no. But
yeah. I was like, I don't know. I mean, he's super jacked. I remember he was also very funny on that movie with
was it Cock Blockers?
Amy. I didn't see that. Amy. What's her name?
Oh, Amy Poehler? No,
Bill Hader was in it.
Oh, right. The one where she's like dating people and he turns out to be the gay guy.
Yeah, John Cena. Yeah. He was funny, and I kind of realized that I'd never really seen him be that funny before, and that's when I kind of started to realize like this guy, he seems like could be like a serious action star, but he's also got really great timing.
And you're right. So I see him being in the realm of like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, where you obviously expect him to be in Commando, but then immediately after Commando, you're okay with him doing something like Twins.
Right. Yeah, that's a good movie. Twins is a good movie.
yeah. Junior, however, not as much.
Yeah, I only really saw like bits and pieces of that movie. I never really saw the whole thing. But so, that's like what Hollywood loves to do. They love to emasculate the strongman. I mean, they've done it to Vin Diesel. He was the babysitter, and I'm pretty sure John Cena was the Tooth Fairy, or was it the other way around?
The Rock was the Tooth Fairy.
The Rock was the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, they love to do that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, at some point, the actor themselves, or the guy who is trying to be an actor, is saying, "Well, let me show my range," and that at some point the roles start dwindling. I always joke, we talk about Vin Diesel. I always joke that The Rock stole Vin Diesel's career, and a lot of people were like, well, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, so when Fast 5 got announced, the first major actor announced with it was Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I know they don't like each other.
Well, they don't anymore. But after The Rock joined the cast, Vin Diesel joined the cast. So it wasn't until after that. So I was sitting there going, man, like the Tooth Fairy, like Dwayne Johnson gets that role, that normally would have gone to Vin Diesel, who played the pacifier.
Right. Yeah.
But then when The Rock ends up getting the role in the Fast and Furious movie, I'm sitting there going, he really did steal his career. Now Vin at least took that that role back and made that part of the franchise about him. But like The Rock was so good in those films that he was able to get his own movie out of it,
Right.
And granted, it's with Jason Statham.
Right.
And some of the rules that those two had to make that movie were fucking insane. Like both of them had to be able to not take the last punch. So like they had to be able to throw a punch at somebody else so that neither of them took the last punch kind of shit.
That was like written into their contract or whatever.
Yeah, like
oh my god,
because apparently I guess with the Vin Diesel thing, The Rock didn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna let you get one up on me,
right?
And then Jason Statham's like, oh, I'm not gonna let you get one up on me neither. You know, like. So they literally had in their contracts that the two of them like had to punch the same amount of people. They had to, you know, like.
Oh god, egos are crazy, man.
And now for the next one, like Jason Statham said, he wants the same money, and you know, you think about it, and you're like, sure, the marquee goes to Dwayne Johnson at this point, but both of those guys are the stars of that movie. Like, you kind of need both of them to make another Hobbs and Shaw movie. You can't just Hobbs and Cena.
Yeah, right.
You know, like.
So yeah, because I also I saw something and like I guess people were surprised that there was no Rock and there was no Statham in Fast 9, right?
Right, and a lot of that is directly related to Vin Diesel and The Rock's extramarital problem.
Yeah. Also, isn't there something with what's his name?
Tyrese?
Yeah.
So apparently Universal reached out to him and who's the other one?
Ludacris?
Yeah, him and Ludacris about doing a side movie as well. And when Vin Diesel heard about it, he was like, he shut it down, and that caused beef between them for a while. And then like they apparently patched things up, obviously, because they're in the film together.
Right.
But you know, like Vin Diesel still sits there and goes, "Oh, it's all family kind of stuff." It's more like mafia.
Or money. Yeah. You know what I find interesting about that whole series in the universe? Brian is still alive, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, he's still alive. He just retired, I guess, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, because they bring back Jordana Brewster in the new one because she's Vin Diesel's sister in the movies.
Right.
So she comes back because, you know, spoiler alert, John Cena plays his younger brother.
Right.
So
funny how they never mentioned him in the last 8 movies, but whatever, no big deal.
Well, you know, I brought up Friday the 13th earlier.
Like a damn soap opera, man.
And in Jason Goes to Hell, Jason, who was an only child for 8 movies, suddenly has a sister. So
I guess I blocked that part out too. I've only seen that movie like one time, so I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. I guess I need to go back and watch it, maybe I'll just look it up on Wikipedia or something.
Well, you know, I write a parody horror book. So
that's right. I just saw that you working on the cover. In fact, I'll tell you what. I will share my screen of the cover because I think I got it pulled up. Here, hold on. I don't have it pulled up, but I can pull it up real quick. So I have two different covers for the book. And here's, if I share my screen, everybody can get a little taste of what's coming up from Junior High Horrors. Oh yeah, dude, I haven't seen the color. That's awesome, man. Hell yeah. So I I hand colored it, so that's why it's still got like that old school appeal feel to it. But yeah, this is Mikey Holiday dressed in his blue karate gi. Karate Kai. That's awesome. Yeah, it was a pretty easy name to come up with there. Yeah. I didn't want to use cobras in a kid's book, but right. Yeah, especially not right now. Cobras, sensitive subject, Raleigh. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah. So that, you know, they just announced that the new season of Cobra Kai is coming out in December. So we've got 5 months to sit there and get the comic book ready, and we'll have Karate Kai coming out in January, right after the launch of Cobra Kai season 4. So the guy that was the brain guy in Suicide
Peter
Squad.
Capaldi.
What's up?
Peter Capaldi. Yeah,
where else have I seen him from, man? I forget. He kind of reminds me of what's super Brainiac? He reminded me of Brainiac.
So he is most notably known as Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, that's right. Damn, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Not the one right after David Tennant, because I think that was Matt Smith. I think he was the one after Matt Smith.
Yeah, that's right. He was like a short-lived doctor, right? He only had a few.
Yeah, a lot of those guys on that series pretty much just say, "Hey, I'm only going to do it for one season because I've always wanted to be Doctor Who,
right?
But I don't want to do it long term." And I think a lot of that's because the reason why Doctor Who's as popular as it is and has been for as long as it is because it's very cheaply made.
Right. Yeah. You can tell. Yeah.
Stephen Moffat and Gaddis have pretty much said, that it's a cheap show. We cut every cost we possibly can because that's what it's always been, and that's why it's so immensely popular. And they're absolutely right, and those guys have gone on to make a new Dracula series to go with their Sherlock series, and the first episode of it, Tony, is phenomenal.
The Dracula series?
Yes, and then the second 2 episodes are completely off the wall, batshit crazy.
Wait, are you talking about the one on Netflix?
Yes,
I did watch the very first one. I did, and it was good. And I didn't watch any of the other ones.
The first one is like everything you'd expect from like a 1300s Vlad the Impaler type Dracula story, right?
Yeah.
And then at the very end of it, something happens where you sit there and you're like, wait, what? And then you have to watch the next 2, and the next 2, like they had to have sat there and said, we'll do the first one, and the first one went over really well. So then they did two more episodes, but they're hour and a half long episodes.
Yeah, right.
Kind of like Sherlock was. And right. What the hell did I just watch in the second and third episode? Like I don't even know if I want a new season of that because it's so fucking crazy.
I watched some of that on like a elliptical, and I also watched. This is when I was in Boston. I watched episodes of The Witcher when I was on an elliptical, and this is as other people exercising. It's in public, and there's a lot of like spicy scenes in that show, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, holy shit, like people are not gonna know what the hell I'm watching here, What I mean?
but it was Superman's ass that you were watching, so it was completely okay.
So what do you think about Stardo?
So I will say straight up that James Gunn is the only director that's going to get approval on being able to use a character like Starro the Conqueror.
Right. Is that a real character, or is that just something they made up?
Oh yeah. And he's a badass character in the DC universe because like if he attaches to a superhero, then he mind controls them and has access to all their powers.
And they're dead though, right? I mean, it's like a facehugger kind of thing, because you saw them trying to take it off, like surgically remove it from someone.
The question I had there was how long had it been attached? Because
that makes sense.
Because in the comics, like they always seem to get it off within 4 issues. So it's not like 2 years have gone by and the thing is like sucked the face off of them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, I would assume that that guy had been because they'd been experimenting for 30 years
right
on Starro. So I would think that guy had been sitting there for a while and they were like, okay, now it's time to take that thing off of him and see what happens.
So I thought it was kind of cool at the this is at the end when they defeat Stardo or whatever, which I thought was actually really cool. The whole sequence was pretty cool. When they he was like, I just like looking at the stars. He was like, I was enjoying floating, looking at the stars. Like, why'd you bring me down here?
You assholes did this to me, not the other way around.
Right, not the other way around. Yeah, I know. I thought that because it wasn't that big. You know what I mean? And I guess obviously he didn't have to like be an asshole and release his armpit starfish out of him and attack us. He didn't have to do that, but I mean, I guess it's sort of like the, scorpion and the frog kind of thing.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit of that. It was probably also, hey, your 5 people that are trying to kill me aren't going to be able to do any damage, and I could live on this island all by myself and just take over all the people here.
Yeah.
Which he kind of started doing. It's funny. Did you ever play The Last of Us 2, the video game?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I actually played it 1.5 times. I played it on the Plus after I beat it, and I got to Abby's part, and I haven't played it. I haven't finished that part. But yeah, I love the game.
So the reason why I bring that up is because it morally questions who was in the right and who was in the wrong.
Yeah, I know.
And in this film, when you see the general sit there with Starro on, and he's like, I just wanted to be up and looking at the stars, like he's basically saying, I only did this because you guys made me do it.
Right.
I'm morally not in the wrong for defending myself, because that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And
right.
It was after years and years of torture.
Right.
That they were, so I totally understand why he kills Capaldi the way he does, why he's just sitting there trying to get out. And then he probably had all those spawns in him that had to come out for one reason or another,
yeah, kind of like the polka dots.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what we heard from Polka Dot Man. He's like, if I don't expel twice a day,
they'll eat me.
They'll eat me alive. And
yeah.
And I couldn't tell what the polka dots actually did until he shot them at the people in that building, because it started eating right through them, and I'm like, holy shit, what are those things made out of? Because they look like fruit tarts, like.
Yeah, that whole sequence was cool too, with the building that was collapsing.
It's one of those things where you totally understand why it took as long as it did, but you're also sitting there going, why did it take as long as it did?
Yeah. Well, they got sidetracked. They had a lot of, there's a main mission, and then you played games, and you get sidetracked.
And you go on a side
mission. Yeah.
You're right. And I understand and I agree with that. I just, for the life of me, I'm sitting there going, okay, we're getting a lot of Peacemaker right now, and we're not seeing anything that's going on. And then when they show King Shark doing his thing, he's just acting like a 4-year-old kid in a ball pit. It's like, right. Ooh, friends.
Yeah, that was so funny, and they turned out to be little asshole fish.
Yeah, and they were the only thing that could injure him.
Right. Yeah, I found that interesting too, because wasn't Bloodsport hitting him with, it was like a shotgun type weapon, and it was like
was pushing him back, but wasn't doing any damage. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna die. I thought he was gonna die there. I was like, all right, well, I guess King Shark didn't last that long.
It was a little weird that Waller didn't tell them to stop right there.
What do you mean?
Because she has the ability to say, "Hey, stop shooting the guy that's that we said you absolutely need to get into the building that you're going to get into."
Right.
Or I'm going to blow up the bomb in your head.
Yeah.
Like throughout the entire, we get that. I love how the trailer, and I'm backstepping here, but I love how the trailer showed like that Right Stuff walk where you see like the 12 people on the A team.
Yeah.
And they're all walking towards the helicopter or the plane that they're getting into. And then, so the trailer shows that, and you're like, damn, this is going to be a baller of a movie with this big of a cast, right?
Yeah.
And then all of them are dead in like 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. So
the one that shocked me there, though, I'll be real. The one that shocked me there was Captain Boomerang.
Yeah. Because I was like, wait, he was in the first movie, and he lived, and he was like pissed. I think was it at the end of the movie? He was like super pissed that he was back in a cell. I think he was like screaming out of the little porthole. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then, like in this one, he's one of the first 4 people to go.
He was on the. I guess I call it Task Force A, but really it was Task Force B. You know what I mean?
It was Task Force Distraction.
That was exactly what it was. Like she did that on purpose. Like you realize that.
She did. So my question here is: did she think that Rick Flag was going to die on that beach with those guys?
She didn't care.
Well, did she not? Because immediately after that, when they find out that he's still alive, she's like, meet up with him.
Well, I think it was just sort of like, honestly, I don't think she cared. But when she found out he was alive, then, I mean,
because
he's an asset.
I was also under the impression that he's the only character that didn't have the bomb in his head.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
No, he's supposed to be like their handler in the field.
So the only reason why they would want to extract him was because they want to keep it from being an international incident, I would assume. So, but even still, it seemed odd to me that he's the leader of that strike force. Knowing what her intentions are.
Right.
And by the way, the people that are working in that room with her, did you see how big that motherfucker was?
Yeah, that guy, he's a comedian or a writer. I've seen him before in something else. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that guy's huge. That guy's enormous.
I thought I saw him in Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, man. Who would he have been in Oh, wait a minute.
Same kind of role.
Yeah, that's right. I think he was, dude. I think he was in I think he was like one of the people in the control room.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, that's right.
At least he seriously looked like him.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think you're right. I bet you if you look that up on IMDb, like I bet you one of his credits is Cabin in the Woods, which is like one of my favorite horror movies ever. But
I try to distance myself from anything that Joss Whedon is involved in now, but yeah.
That was a great movie. That was a great movie.
It took the genre of horror and was like, hey, we're gonna make it a gambling thing now.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. But even this, like the way that it starts, I was like, oh, they just stole that from Cabin in the Woods. Like they're all sitting there betting on who's gonna bite it.
Yeah. That was funny, dude. That was funny.
And Waller's sitting there, and she goes, "You make sure everybody makes it to that checkpoint." And of course, did anybody check to see if Weasel can swim?
That was funny at the end how he woke up, but I was like, "Well, because he's a weasel. He's a weasel.
Got up and ran.
He's a weasel. He weaseled his way out of dying. You know what I mean? He's a survivor.
And for all Waller knows, like she can't blow him up now because he might have been part of Idris Elba's team.
Right. I kind of would have liked to know a little bit more about Weasel, but I mean, I guess it's just a silly thing. It's funny because I was also wondering if she let Pete Holmes' character. What was his name in the movie? Pete Holmes' character, the guy.
Pete Davidson. You mean?
Yeah, Pete Davidson. Yeah, excuse me. What was
Was he Blockbuster?
I don't even remember if they said his name.
So on HBO Max now they've got something that actually shows all of them. I don't remember. I think it might have been Blockbuster. But when Pete Davidson was talking about the character, he's like, yeah, he's supposed to have this dope as fuck like purple ponytail, and here he is with just blonde hair.
Yeah. So, but I was wondering though. I guess maybe Waller let him contact them. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
She knew all along what was going on there.
And then he just gets shot in the face.
Oh yeah, it's just a big hole goes through.
Yeah. The whole thing with the javelin, I thought the whole thing with the javelin was cool. I
liked that it ended up having purpose throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
At the same time, Harley's whole reason for getting caught was kind of stupid. When she's like, look at him like, oh, you poor like. And then she just starts slapping him like, who am I supposed to give it to?
Yeah. So, okay, I didn't see Birds of Prey. Was that whole throwaway dialogue about she got she said I got arrested for road rage robbing a bank or whatever. Was that at the end of Birds of Prey? Did she get arrested at the end of Birds of Prey or something? I don't know.
Oh, you know what? She might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I mean, Harley Quinn's the type of character that would have road rage, from someone not putting on their turn signal.
Yeah, right.
And just blow their car up or whatever. So
it was so funny, man. As soon as that guy was like monologuing at the window and you didn't see her, I was like, oh, that guy's dead. I was like, that guy is so dead. He has no idea. She thinks he's like a dictator or whatever. He's got power. I was like, that woman is a complete psycho. Like, how do you not like? She dated the Joker. Like, are you crazy?
but you know what's funny about that is she now has a moral code, because she even explains it to him. She's like, there are red flags, and when you want to murder children, that's the red flag.
Yeah, that's the red flag. Why'd they have to burn the birds, man? I was like,
oh man, I hated that.
I was like, why are you doing that?
So I gotta tell you,
has Jeremy watched this movie? Because he won't watch it. Well, I guess it has to be puppies.
I won't be surprised if PETA ends up having a problem with the amount of animal cruelty in this film.
They're not real.
The rats were fine.
Yeah.
But well, it's interesting because in the credits now, like a lot of times it says like no animals or children were hurt during the film, that kind of shit. So I noticed a weird line in it that said the depiction of tobacco and alcohol products said something like were not paid for by the companies making those products. So apparently, like, they now have to put that in there. Like, so when Elba's character leans in to smoke a cigarette, like, they have to tell you in the credits that it wasn't a paid advertisement for nicotine.
Yeah. Wow. No shit. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that now. They haven't been able to advertise in 60 years or longer. Who the hell knows when the last time they were able to advertise in? I mean, I know they used to be able to advertise in magazines, but like as far as TV,
sure, but they have like. So now, nowadays, like a TV show where someone's smoking automatically gets a TV 14 rating. Because
yeah.
But in this specifically, I was like, because I was actually looking the second time through because I've watched the movie twice. I was looking through the credits the second time to see if there was anything that said the depiction of harming animals, was not. Because even Starro, you're sitting there going, man, it's just a starfish.
Yeah, right. It's a giant starfish. That's so crazy. And we got a kaiju up in this bitch.
I loved that.
Yeah.
And again, the only director that could really get away with that would have been him.
Right.
Like you may have gotten, I guess, Peyton Reed from Ant-Man to be able to get away with a lizard that turns into a giant lizard.
Right.
Or something like that. But like a giant starfish that, by the way, just looked super comical and dorky.
Yeah, I know.
But
it was also creepy as hell, though.
It was, especially when they showed the close-ups of it. You saw all the little
things,
and then the tentacles on it.
Yeah.
It just to me though, like that James Gunn went into that meeting with Warner Brothers heads and was like, they were like, what do you want to do? Because now that you're fired from Disney, from Guardians, we want you to make a DC Universe movie. And he said, give me the Suicide Squad. And they were like, we already did that one.
Yeah, no.
He was like, no. That was that Suicide Squad.
But he's doing the newest Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
What's that?
He's doing Guardians 3, isn't he?
He is.
He's
doing, and in fact, before Guardians 3 comes out, he's got the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special coming up.
Oh yeah, is that going to be on Disney Plus?
So they're gonna film all of it at the same time. So they've got all the actors and everything for it.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna put the holiday special out, I think, next Christmas, and then the following year you'll get Guardians 3. So it's going to be interesting because it's going to be like a 45-minute holiday episode, and he's only doing it because he wants it to be his George Lucas moment where he has a holiday special like Star Wars did.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because everyone always talks about how there's so many similarities between Guardians and the Star Wars films that now like he's going, oh, if there's that much of that, we're going to do a holiday special too.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You know, it might not be the most popular opinion, but I liked the first Suicide Squad. I thought it was fun. I don't know. I didn't have as much of a problem with it, I guess, as a lot of people did. Killer Croc was pretty sweet. I mean, I guess there's some parts with the Joker that they put in there were a little weird, and it was cool because there was Batman. You know, I thought it was cool how they added Batfleck in there a little bit.
So I think that the film was fine, but it would have done better as like a 4-episode TV series.
Yeah, why you say that?
Specifically, or maybe even extending it to 8 episodes or whatever, because it would have been something where you would have really been able to flesh out that Joker storyline throughout.
Right. Okay.
You would have been able to sit there, but there was a lot of weird shit in that film, like the Enchantress character that does, that's with Flag, but then all of a sudden she doesn't want to be with Flag and she releases her brother and does all this weird, and you're like, am I following this? Like, is it, and so there's a lot of stuff like that in it that was pretty stupid. And then the idea that a guy that shoots guns better than anybody else is going to take down a demon. I mean, I've seen it. It's called Evil Dead. In fact, it fits with this show funny. Being Primitive Screwheads, as everybody heard Ash Williams sit there.
Right.
So, but you're right. The idea that you got like the opening sequence where the Joker's driving the car and Batman's on top of the car.
Yeah.
The fact that you end the movie with the after credit scene actually with Ben Affleck sitting there and her saying she knows who he is.
Yeah.
That's all fine and dandy, but that was all because they were trying to make this whole universe.
Right. Yeah.
The problem that they ran into with all of the DC universe movies up until probably the first Wonder Woman was the fact that like they kept trying to include so much already.
Yeah.
Because they didn't take the time.
They didn't follow the formula. They didn't follow the Marvel formula.
Yeah. Well, and the formula is kind of what I'm talking about. With Iron Man, they took a chance.
Right.
And if the film didn't succeed, then that Hulk film that had one scene with Iron Man in it was just going to be a standalone film, and it would have just ended right there. They had the ideas for Thor and Captain America, but they probably would have gotten rid of the whole Avengers thought process if any of those films had failed.
Right.
But starting with Batman versus Superman and throwing Wonder Woman in there, throwing the Flash in there, throwing Aquaman in there, throwing Cyborg in there, like you can't start with Justice League.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
And in fact, if you watch the 4-hour cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the one thing that they get right is they flesh out Cyborg.
Right.
But what they really proved is that Zack Snyder wanted to write a series, and they told him, no, you have to make a 2-hour movie. And he like the thing I don't like about it specifically, I mean, it's still not a great movie, but it is better than the 2-hour cut that Whedon put out.
Right.
The thing I don't like about it specifically is that when Zack Snyder said, my cut of the movie's 4 hours and 6 minutes, this cut of the movie was 4 hours and 6 minutes. There was no editing done. Like they did not cut anything out of the movie. There's 4 hours and some minutes or whatever, and you're like, why is it that? Like there should not be, under no circumstance should that movie have been 4 hours long.
You mean like it should have just been like a TV show? It should have just been like a series?
Well, it would have worked better.
Yeah.
Because the way they even cut it so that you can watch it as a 4-hour movie is they've cut it into like 6 parts.
Right.
So and one of like the first part and the last part are both like 20 minutes, and then there's like 40-minute parts in the middle, and then there's like the big chunk. And I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit in it. I didn't like, and I still don't like this anytime I see it. After how well they did it in the X-Men films, anytime you show the Flash Like, it's okay to show him doing the speed thing where he slows down time once. But every time you see the Flash run, it should not be the slowest thing in the movie. He's the Flash.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
You know,
I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, dude, that makes total sense because he's supposed to be fast. Like,
yeah.
But it's
okay, speaking of that, though,
but you know how they do that, though. They want to showcase him. You know what I mean? Because he probably read into his contract or something. Like, I know I'm fast, but I still want you to see me. You know?
Yeah, but that's why when they do those X-Men films, Evan Peters got that one scene that would do that.
Right.
Like, that's your showcase.
Right.
You got a 2-minute scene where everything that you just did, like, as soon as they speed it back up, you're gonna watch it go and it's gonna pinball, right? Now speaking of, now that we're talking about the DC extended universe and we're talking about the Justice League and everything else being in this universe and the Justice League all being together at this point, why the fuck didn't they show up to help blow up Starro?
Because they were probably like off planet or
done.
You know why? Because they were like, well, obviously it's money and licensing, I'm sure, but I mean, because they're like supervillains. Who cares if they die? You know what I mean?
You know what though? I know that we all would have hated if something like this happened, but this is the kind of movie where after like 25 minutes of them trying to blow Starro up and can't do it, they're watching their teammates get blowed up from everything.
Yeah,
they watch Superman come in and go, "Y'all need help?"
Yeah,
yeah, and then have him just fly right through Starro and just explode him.
Yeah,
to me, I'd have been like, "Oh, it's such a cop out," but that was fucking awesome.
Dude, I did think that the whole part, I mean, it was sort of, you knew it was going to happen, but all of the rats, the little small things took out the big thing, I thought that was pretty cool, because it's just like, if a person gets covered with ants, I mean, that shit sucks. Like,
yeah. And you could, you know what though? It was like when Polka Dot Man, and I didn't notice this the first time I watched it, but I did notice it the second time I watched it. When Polka Dot Man is sitting there firing at the leg, and the leg is like dissolving.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really weird that the leg kept combining back together. But when he was making that leg dissolve, all those people that had Starros on their face were all holding their right leg.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they felt the pain. Yeah.
And I didn't even notice that the first time I watched it.
Yeah, I did notice that. That's funny. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. They all feel it. Yeah.
And then of course he gets his best line in the entire film. "I'm a fucking superhero."
Yeah. Great spot. Yeah. I know. And then it was funny because was it Harley that was sitting with his like smashed up body at the end?
No, that was Ratcatcher.
Yeah. She was just like sitting by his like squashed,
holding a swatch from him.
Good Lord. I was like, ugh, that is messed up, man. But
and whose helicopter was that they got on at the end?
Yeah, I guess
this is our ride.
Yeah,
we're not working for Waller anymore.
Yeah, we're not working for Waller anymore. Yeah, that is true. I didn't even think about that. I gotta watch that movie again. It's cool how the starfish also turned into his mom. They showed the starfish with his mom.
Yeah, that's so funny, of course he's sitting there shooting his mom's leg.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Oh man. So okay, I did have one question. All right, so when they were in like the, they got arrested at the club, and they killed the 3 guards. That's because they like shoved their noses up into their brains, right? That's what they all did?
They all did the 1 second move. And that's why they said on one, and they're like, yep, boom. And they all did the same exact thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was worried about that. I was like, wait, did they just do like the whole, like shove the whole?
That was like Hudson Hawk shit, wasn't it?
Right? Yeah.
No, Last Boy Scout. Last Boy Scout, I think is what film it was. When Bruce Willis said, or when the one guy's like, "I can kill you with one punch," and just right into the nose. But yeah, they all did the headbutt. And it was just over.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that all 3 of them did the exact same thing though, because considering they all seem to have the same training.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I did think it was cool. I knew that Deadshot wasn't going to be in it, obviously, but I get Bloodsport and Deathstroke confused a lot, because they're sort of similar. So I didn't really know who Bloodsport was. Like I wasn't like super familiar with him. I did think it was cool how his helmet though was a xenomorph.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kept looking at it. I was like, I think that's an alien head. I'm pretty sure.
I loved how his entire uniform was a weapon.
Yeah.
And he used every single part of it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's like, fuck, I'm out.
Yeah, that was cool. And he was like looking around and he was like, damn it, I got nothing.
and then you like when he used the grapple hook and the grapple hook started coming out, and he's like, fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he had the superhero landing. And then the superhero landing.
Yeah, that's right.
Superhero landing.
Yep.
6 superhero landings.
So, I mean, even though he was a douchebag, I do think that Peacemaker was my favorite character.
I think it's hard to say that he didn't steal the show.
Yeah, I know.
He even had moments of like where you could see that he had remorse and hated what he was doing.
Yeah, when he was like, "'Cause I'm thorough."
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like she even said, I gave you what you wanted, because if you remember, he made it sound like if Rick Flag gave it to him, he was going to let him go.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But with her, she was like, here, have it. And he's like, still got to kill you, kid.
Yeah. I like that. That whole fight was cool. Their whole fight, I thought was, the whole knockdown, drag out fight was pretty badass.
And that was after Rick Flag already had like something stuck in his chest, so he pulls out like the metal pole or whatever that's stuck in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he still goes toe to toe with Captain America pretty much.
So, all right. Have you heard anything of them? I'm surprised they didn't change it. I mean, they should just call it Suicide Squad 2, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's still a Suicide Squad, no matter who's on it, right? I mean, they're all expendable. So,
right.
I guess it doesn't need to be like Suicider Squad or something like that. But do you know if they'll make have you heard anything about a third one yet, or not really?
No, and unfortunately, I don't like. James Gunn has said flat out that he would come back and do another one. He wants to do it, and he already got to play in the toy box even longer because he got to make the Peacemaker TV show, which I thought was really interesting that they brought him in to write and direct that show. Now granted, he might not direct every episode, but he definitely directed the first episode, and as far as I know, he wrote the entire series.
Right.
So I mean, there's knowing that, I think that there's a holding period right now for anything after Flash, because the Flash movie obviously is supposed to restart everything. And if they do reboot everything, then I think it's hard for them to make another movie with those characters again. So they could do another Suicide Squad film, but I wouldn't be surprised if they called it Suicide Squad something.
Right. I wonder, did they ever say what happened to because Deadshot was back in Bellevue, or is it Bellevue? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it was Bellerive.
Bellerive, yeah. Bellevue is actually a real prison or a real institute. Yeah, they never really said what happened to Deadshot.
He started getting visitation with his daughter at the end of the first one.
Yeah,
and I think he was still going on missions with them. So of course that meant that he was gonna get out at some point,
right?
Because I think even Batman said something at one point during the film, make his thing go away or whatever. Because he tried to correct what was going on. So
right.
A lot of it always amazes me to see when they suddenly are superheroes. These aren't good people.
Yeah.
King Shark is a child, but he eats people. You know,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
like Peacemaker admits that he kills children.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why they're stuck in an institution and have a bomb in their brain. You know, like
Yeah. Also, I didn't realize it at first that Ratcatcher 2's dad
Father?
was
Taika Waititi.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my first viewing of it, I saw that scene with him and I was like, is that Taika Waititi?
Yeah.
And then the second time I watched the credits and I was like, oh, that was Taika Waititi.
I didn't notice it in her flashback, but I did notice it when they were on top of whatever building they were on top of.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think you really saw him in the flashback. I think you only see him when they're sitting on the.
Well, you do see a man, and you definitely see someone that had died of an overdose with like a needle in their arm. But
that it probably was him, but you know,
yeah. I couldn't tell who it was. And I was like, oh shit! All right, it's Korg or whatever. Yeah, it's Korg. That's pretty cool. I like how they, because they even had like Michael Rooker. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Again, another person that will show up in anything that James Gunn.
Yeah,
does,
right. Yeah,
he was even in Brightburn in the end credits. So
wait,
he was the newscaster.
Oh, he was? I forgot about that.
He was the crazy newscaster that's talking about how things are going on in the ocean. Women are suddenly stronger than all these men doing, because it was supposed to be the Amazons and the Atlanteans like suddenly showing up on the Brightburn world.
He's talking. That's the one with the kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kid with Superman powers.
Yeah, and he was
basically
evil.
Superman's origin. If Superman was a psychotic little fuck.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I saw that. I saw that once. But maybe I don't know why I didn't see that end credit. I don't know if I saw that end credit scene. Maybe I'll have to look it up.
It's basically him as a newscaster, just like talking about all these weird happenings happening around the world.
Is that in the DC universe?
No. In fact, interestingly enough, that movie was distributed by Sony. So it's if anything, one Peter Parker would have to deal with those characters.
Speaking of which, have you seen the trailer for There Will Be Carnage?
I have. I've seen both trailers for it. The second trailer seemed to give everything away.
I mean, I'm still going to see it because it looks awesome.
I enjoyed the first one for what it was, but you could tell it wasn't a Marvel movie.
Yeah, sure, but dude, that movie had way better than it had any right to be. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I wasn't expecting that much out of it, and I thought it was pretty solid. I mean, some of it was weird at the end, but I was hilarious. I mean, you wouldn't think a movie like that would be hilarious because I don't remember Eddie Brock and I used to watch like the cartoon when I was a kid, and
it was never funny.
It wasn't funny at all. No, It wasn't funny at all. And I thought that movie was hilarious.
No, but I think the difference, though, compared to the cartoon or whatever, is that Venom was strictly looked at as a villain back then, whereas now he's an anti-hero.
Right.
So you've got to figure out a way to make him likable, and still despicable when he needs to be, right? and kind of the same thing with the Suicide Squad characters, So I initially didn't like the idea of Woody Harrelson as the casting of Cletus Cassidy, but I like Woody Harrelson in everything.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm completely fine with it. But Cletus Cassidy is supposed to be like an emaciated, strung out little fuck that is just, Mark Hamill Joker psychotic.
Right.
So, that's what you would expect. And yet we're going to get Woody Harrelson depicting a character that isn't just psychotic, but he's also Hannibal Lecter. And that's where I'm not sure I like where that's going to go.
Right. So I do think that they kind of fleshed out the more important characters in this Suicide Squad a little better, than the first one. Because at first, though, because that was actually one of the reasons that Emily didn't like the first one, and then she had read something where they flesh out the characters more in this second movie. And they all die at the beginning, and I was like, well, that's not happening. You know what I mean? And then, obviously, it goes to where they're on the beach and it's deserted or whatever. Because, actually, I think they did go into their backstories a little bit more than they did in the original movie. But I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't care. I was like, this is called the Suicide Squad. They're going to die. Like, I don't need to get attached to them. You know what I mean?
Right. And yet, by the end, you were extremely attached to Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
and you're sitting there like, well, I guess I just wasted 2 hours of my life getting attached to him.
And Milton. Don't forget about Milton, man.
Dude,
that was like a total Deadpool. That was like a Deadpool kind of thing. I was like, why is this guy still with them? I was like, what is he doing?
Like when he's loading the shotgun and Bloodsport takes the shotgun from him, he's like, no, you're staying in the van. And then all of a sudden, like, they're planting the bombs and he's running around with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
like,
this guy has no superpowers.
He's the guy from Deadpool 2 that had
that's exactly what I was saying. Yep.
Yeah. It's like Peter, don't come down here.
Yeah.
What? Get out of here, man. Don't no. What about X-Force? No X-Force.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I was sitting there, I was literally going, okay, the guy had like 2 lines in the entire film.
Yeah.
He walks up to the doorman at the one point. He's like, come on, bro. And then like he's handing people guns and stuff. And you're like, what is this guy doing?
I just thought that was so funny, man. And then nobody even remembered who he was except for Polka Dot Man. You know what I mean?
Well, so with Harley, though, I kind of understand why she didn't know who he was, because she just met up with them.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, they were with Milton because he was the one that took them to the strip club and everything else before Operation Harley.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, I loved how she goes, I'll be your friend, Milton. And he's like, not my name.
Not my name. We had a whole 3-hour conversation about your name being Milton. Yeah.
Like, those are the lines where, like, even though Milton died, you're sitting there like, well, he gets a nice send off there from her sitting there, like, bringing him back up. Like, good for Milton. Polka Dot Man didn't get shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm a fucking superhero, splat, and he's gone.
As soon as he said that, he started, dude. Anytime someone starts a monologue, I'm like, nope.
Just had that.
You're done. Yeah.
It's like you do realize that he's got 4 other legs, right?
Yeah, right. Oh man. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Obviously, it was super violent. I think it might have even been more violent than the first one.
No, it definitely was.
I think they upped the gore factor like a lot.
Was the first one a straight-on rated R movie?
Oh, he's definitely rated R.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, you've got characters that are all about peace sitting there using the word fuck all the time.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this one's going a little bit nuts here.
People literally get torn in half.
Harley Quinn even said fuck in the movie, and I was like, I don't remember her saying that in the first one. She might have. I don't remember it. But so I've got a question for you.
What's up?
Was James Gunn's use of King Shark his way of making fun of the Hulk?
Now that you say that, probably, because he was indestructible, and he could jump really high, and he
was dumb as shit.
Yeah, he was dumb as shit. Yeah, obviously, he couldn't, change into a man or whatever. But now that you say that, though, it kind of makes sense. That's actually really funny, man. I didn't even think about that.
And how good for having as few words to say as he did with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I know. I was talking about that. I think that's so cool how they get like these big name actors just to like do like these little voice parts now.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
The way that they had him do that, he was pretty much Groot and the Hulk.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was it. So I loved it. I was glad that it was available on HBO Max because because Thursday night, like I got a phone call from somebody and they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna watch Suicide Squad tonight?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
I was like, I get off work late, so I can't because the movie theaters aren't as open as today. And then he's like, no, you don't have to watch it in the movie theater. You can watch it on HBO Max. I'm like, tomorrow, and he's like, no, dude, it's up now. And I'm like,
it's up now.
I'm like, well, I know what I'm doing tonight. So
I was thinking about going to go see it at Briar Creek because they have 4D now.
Ooh,
yeah.
I heard Apex has the cool screen that has like the weird sides and everything.
Yeah, Sharon was telling me about that. I was like, that's crazy. But I don't know. I think it'd be fun to see that in like a 4D kind of movie.
Yeah, I'd have to look to see whether or not there's anything special about it being in 4D. Like
my remember John Wilkes in the booth?
Yeah, I remember John Wilkins in the booth.
He told me he went and saw The Quiet Place Part 2 in a 4D theater, and it kind of ruined it because you would know when things were about to happen because the seats would start to rattle and it kind of ruined because the movie's supposed to be quiet. Right. And also there was a broken seat a couple of rows down from them that would make like a lot of noise. And it wasn't. He said it kind of ruined the movie. Yeah, exactly. He said it kind of ruined the movie, and I just thought that was hilarious. Yeah.
I would think that like when they talk about 4D stuff, like they'd have the little misters and things, so that when King Shark gets hit by all the water coming out, suddenly you get sprayed in the face with a water gun.
Yeah.
Like you do in the 4D rides at Disney World or whatever.
I did that. I've done that one time at the whatever Disney Zoo thing that they have in
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom. Yeah. I did one of those. Yeah, they got like bugs and stuff. Yeah,
it's tough to be a bug.
Yeah,
the Bug's Life one.
Yeah,
I like that one. They've got them everywhere. Like Universal Studios, they've got one of the oldest ones, which was the Terminator 2 3D.
Oh, yeah.
Which incorporates actual actors like walking out on stage as like the Terminator and stuff, and then you put your 3D goggles on and you see like the T1 million start coming out and stuff, and it's really cool. Yeah, that stuff's always fun. So Tony, I don't know if you've got anything else you want to talk about when it comes to this. I will say I really appreciate you doing this with me tonight. I think that with the amount of comic book movies and even TV series coming out, Saren's sending us a message right now that says, would have loved to have been part of it tonight, guys. So we've got Let There Be Carnage coming up. We've got Shang-Chi coming up. We've got What If starting this week on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm super excited about now that it feels like it ties into the universe better.
That's on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
They release it on Wednesdays now. Yep. Okay, cool.
Well, that's because Star Wars is Friday, Marvel's Wednesday.
Okay. Okay.
Because you got Bad Batch, you got the season finale of Bad Batch coming out on Friday this week too.
I only watched like 2 or 3 episodes of that, so now I'm going to catch up. Now,
it's good, man.
Yeah,
it's real good.
I liked it. I liked what I saw, so I'm definitely going to catch up.
So, but then there's also, let's see, there's at least one more DC movie coming out this year, I think. I can't remember which one it is, but I think there's one. But then there's Eternals, Spider-Man. I mean, like every month for like the rest of the year, I think there's something coming.
Right. I'm excited. There's a lot of good TV. Right. If you have the Apple Plus or whatever, dude, like every show they have on there is like pretty much awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Physical with Rose Byrne.
I have not. I don't have Apple Plus yet, but I'm thinking I'm going to get it. And
for Foundation.
What's that?
For Foundation?
No, they've got a new series coming up called Invasion. That's an alien invasion TV show that is the most expensive show that they've ever created.
Is there a trailer for it? I gotta check that out.
There is now a trailer for it. It's a Simon Kinberg TV series.
Okay.
There may also be a reason why I'm more interested in it than others, but I kind of signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't talk.
Okay.
I didn't actually say that out loud.
Yeah, right.
It's live on YouTube. I didn't say that. But anyway, lots of stuff coming up. You know, if you haven't watched no, shut up. If you have, shut up. Just wants to keep saying in a world. So if you haven't watched Superman and Lois, I highly recommend it. I know Jeremy at the theater also highly recommends it.
It's on CW?
It is on the CW. It's on the CW app.
Can you watch it from like HBO or no?
You know what? I think they're going to put it on HBO Max as soon as the last 2 episodes air.
Okay.
I think they're going to allow you to stream the entire thing on HBO Max. Because it was originally meant to be a simul broadcast one where it was going to be on HBO Max, and so it might actually be on there. I don't know, but you can tell they put more money into it than any other CW production.
Okay, cool.
But it's excellent. I think it's great. So lots of stuff coming up. Hopefully we can do another one of these episodes when stuff hits. I do want to thank Kiwa for the theme song Boomstick that we used tonight. I also want to thank Saren, who was unable to make it, for giving us that little intro that you just heard like 17 times right there. And I don't have anything else. So if you
just watch it. Just watch the movie. It's a good movie. It's fun.
If you don't have HBO Max, make sure you subscribe, get someone else's however you get your streaming services. It's excellent. There was something else on Netflix that I watched recently that was actually Masters of the Universe Revelation. I think is better than the reviews have given it, but it's totally not what it originally said it was going to be.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not watching it. But
the animation's excellent.
Yeah.
So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and play the outro music. I've got it queued up. Tony, thank you so much. We'll have to do this again next time.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
Movies pops.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks,
bro.
man.
Yep.
Peace.
Later. Maybe.
Where is it? There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
I was kind of glad I still had the music.
Yeah, right?
All right, folks. With that, we are out of here. Have a great night.
Thank you later, man. Peace. Later.